Hi, it's Pete McKinney and I've just been digesting Kidderminster Harriers 1-1 draw at AFC Telford today. Kidderminster Harriers had fallen behind early in the second half when Tony Gray had put the Bucks ahead, but Callum Gittings, who was Harriers' best player today, levelled it up in the 78th minute when he pounced on a mistake by Sean Clancy, who used to play for Kidderminster. The result meant that AFC Telford, who were bottom of the Vanarama Conference, were relegated today. They needed to win and for Wrexham to beat Alfreton, which they did, but unfortunately they weren't able to get 3 points, and Harriers more than deservedly got a point from a game which they controlled for long periods and created some decent chances. Gittings was probably was a big highlight today. He had his best game in some while, and of course he's been hampered by a host of niggly injuries, and he hasn't been able to get into the groove this season and be able to play like he did at the end of last season when he was named player of the season. But he certainly looked like he was getting back to his best, and it was good to see one of the senior guys in midfield really play well. I mean, Harriers now are really sort of starting to focus and have a look at the academy players and the youngsters that Gary Walters brought into the squad over the last few months, and we saw 3 academy players all featured today. Striker Jordan Harrison was handed his first senior debut because Lee Hughes wasn't well, and he did pretty well. You know, he didn't see much of the ball, but when he did, he tried to use it well and even scored a goal in the first half, which was ruled out for offside, and Wild felt that was harsh on the young lad. Luke Maxwell again looked good in midfield for a young lad of his age, and Kennedy Diggy came on in the first half for the injured Amon Verma and was typically robust, so that was a good sign. Diggy unfortunately got a bit of a blow to the head right at the death and had to come off, but Wild is kind of hopeful he will be alright for Monday, so we shall see how that goes. Obviously this is almost the future for Harriers there. The manager has talked a lot about the importance of the academy next season when, you know, he's going to have less money to play with, so maybe we're getting a glimpse of what it might be for next season, and there were some encouraging signs from those young men. Obviously Kidderminster now face a very tough game at home on Monday when Bristol Rovers, who are chasing Barnet for the league title, come to Agborough, and it should be the biggest crowd of the season, with Bristol selling their 2,600 ticket allocation. Absolutely. They also bring with them former Harriers striker Nathan Blissett, who was sold to Rovers in January after some encouraging performances in the previous few months. Blissett, as always, was a very popular figure with Wild. He really rated him, but the goals seem to have dried up for the big man, so we shall see if he features at all on Monday. The game is also equally important for Harriers in a financial sense, because of course now all the staff at the club, all the employees, have only been paid a third of their wages, and Chairman Ken Ray said last week that the players and staff and everyone would be fully remunerated this week coming after the Bristol game. So hopefully the bigger the gate, the better, to sort of generate as much money as we can for Harriers and sort out this unfortunate situation which has arisen again. Anyway, fingers crossed Harriers can put a dent in Rovers' title hopes on Monday, and we shall find out next week's Shuttle to see how they did.